Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Dude, I Love or Hate My Ride. And if you've been watching the show, you'll know that this is about helping you buy your next truck in this case, because we've got Travis here who went all the way to Missouri to pick up his F-150. Now, we've done an F-150 in the past, but this one's a little unique because it's got the 2.7 liter turbo under the hood. So Travis, let's start with why you decided to get the 2.7, and then let's talk about the buying process. And hopefully you guys will learn as much about not only this truck, but how Travis bought it and maybe help you guys buy your next truck. So why the 2.7, not the 3.5, not the Coyote?
It really came down to price. That I was looking for the STX specifically because I like the grille that the STX has, and just price versus what you're getting wise. The 2.7 seems like it's where it's at. I like the fuel mileage and.
Yeah, have you had any issues with power? I mean, it's a 6-cylinder, right?
Right, twin
turbo, and it's kind of Ford's fuel economy model in some ways.
Right.
And your girlfriend, Amber, who we just talked to, said that you're fastidious about fuel economy. So tell me how you've been measuring it and what you've been getting.
I've been getting about 20, I'd say average. I haven't done a purely highway run yet, but I'd say around town, I'm getting between 19 and 20. And that's just driving, not super light. But again, you drive light, you get good economy, and then it's got all the power you need to really hammer down if you want to and take off.
Are you using the truck to figure out that number, or are you using the fuel pump?
The fuel pump.
Okay, wow.
The truck's, it overestimates, I'd say, probably a half gallon.
Okay. All right, now let's talk about how you bought this, because we're here in Colorado, but you went all the way to Missouri. Why did you go to Missouri, and how did you find it in Missouri?
So I was looking around for a while.
And when did you buy it? December, right?
December, yeah. So it was a leftover 18. They were trying to get rid of them. I was on Car Gurus for a good probably 3 weeks looking nonstop. I recommend not setting the filters too strict. Just get as many trucks to populate as you can. And I ended up seeing this advertised in Missouri for a 30 grand. It had a sticker of about 46 on it with all the incentives though, and then the dealership discount. I think I paid $30,500. So I called them up, put a deposit down, bought a ticket for $80 to fly out there and drove it home. No problems.
What was the dealership?
It was Bo Buckman Ford. I highly recommend them. Once I got it home, I found some paint damage that I didn't notice at the time of purchasing the truck. I sent them a picture of it, just asked them if there was anything they could do for me, just kind of throwing it out there. And the manager got back to me and said, get a quote and get the work done and we'll reimburse you. They reimbursed me to the dollar after the work was done.
Oh, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
How much was that?
The paint fix, I think it was like $250 about.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And they were in Missouri. They could have just as easily said.
Right.
Hasta luego.
Which is halfway what I was expecting. I mean, they gave me the truck for rock bottom, and when dealerships do that, they typically plan to make back a lot of the money on the back end with service and stuff, but they won't be getting any of that with an out-of-state vehicle. But it didn't stop them from, taking care of me even after the fact. And then the other thing I appreciated with them is I'm not there to buy the extended warranty, the 3M treatment on the seats or anything like that. And when I sat down with the finance guy, the last step of the process, he looked at me and he's like, I could tell you're here just for the truck, right? I said, yes. And he moved all that paperwork to the side and just got me the truck.
Yeah, I hate that hard sell, right? Where they're like, hey, you want $1,000 worth of stuff you'll never use.
Right, exactly.
and you'll never get back.
So if you're anywhere around Missouri, I highly recommend checking out Bo Buckman. And even if you're not, they advertise their best price right online. Like I said, I got an $80 plane ticket. It saved me about $5 grand.
All right, let's talk about the truck. So you wanted the 2.7. Are you happy with it? What's been your experience with it?
I'm extremely happy with it. It's got plenty of power. WRX the other day thought he was quick, but he found out I was quicker. It was big, loud exhaust, and I just sounded like an electric vehicle passing them by.
This is the race truck of the Ford.
It is, yeah.
It really
and with just the extended cab, I feel like I got a little bit lighter weight, and it goes with the 10-speed now. That was another reason why I wanted a 2018 was the 10-speed. That's been great, super smooth. I haven't had any issues with it at all.
Anything you don't like about it?
No, honestly, I like the truck way more than I thought I was going to. This is my first mid-size or full-size truck. I've probably had 8 Jeeps in the last 5 years, but now my girlfriend got a JL, so I was like, I might as well try something else out. So my plan is to have this while the JL and the Gladiator kind of get the kinks ironed out with them, and then reassess in a few years. But for now, I am loving this truck way more than I thought I was gonna.
And I love the color. That's a unique color. What's it called?
It's Leadfoot Gray.
Yeah.
It was 2018. They stopped making it. They got some other gray now, but it's not this color. This is by far my favorite color.
So let's take a walk around and kind of show us what you've done to it, because you have upgraded it, right? You're kind of making it into a unique overlanding truck. So let's talk about the suspension. Let's talk about the wheels and tires. Come on, let's do a walk around. Yeah.
So I guess one of the first things is the grille is unique to the STX. I love that. I kind of blacked it out. This is just a decal. They sell these as a full replacement black, but they're like $80. This is like a $6 decal I threw on there, and you get the same exact effect.
Yeah, cool.
I switched out everything with LEDs, including the fog lights and projector housings. The real nice thing about these Fords that if you've got a Ford and you don't know, you can put in LEDs and you don't have to wire in resistors. It's really nice. They won't hyper flash on you. They'll only hyper flash on the dash, but you can use some free software called ForScan and a $20 OBD2 to USB adapter, and you can change basically values to stop the hyper flash.
So what is hyperflashing, in case people don't know?
So hyperflash is, if you put in an LED, it's got such low resistance on it that the truck will think the bulb's burnt out, so you'll get that super fast flashing to let you know a bulb's burnt out when really it's not. So with the LEDs, the Ford Auto corrects it, but like I said, you get the hyperflash on the dash. But with this ForScan software that's completely free, you go in there and basically change some zeros to ones, ones to zeros in certain spots, and you can turn that off. Another thing I did was turn off the fake noise that Ford pumps in.
Oh, really? You could do that?
You could turn that off.
The fake V8 noise. Can you tell a difference when you did that?
No, I actually couldn't.
Really?
No,
Was
I
that
couldn't.
subtle?
It's that subtle. But another thing I did was it's really cool, just tapping the blinker stalk.
Yeah.
It usually flashes 3 times. That's not enough for me usually. I changed that to 5 times.
Yeah, that's like an Autobahn feature, right? That's where that came from, right? So when you're on the Autobahn and you're flying and you need to just do a little bit of passing quickly, you can just hit it once and it does the 3 little flashes.
The other thing I did was I turned off auto stop start with the ForScan software, which is really nice. I didn't like the auto stop start on the Ford actually. My girl that's got the JL, hers is, I feel, a lot smoother. Hers, I like it because it won't turn off unless you really push on that pedal, where this Ford, it would turn off all the time on me, even if I didn't want it to, where on my girls you can kind of tell it to turn off by pushing it harder. If you don't want it off, you just kind of hover the pedal. The Ford would turn off all the time, so through that ForScan software, I turned that off too, which I really enjoyed.
And how much were the LEDs? How did you get them from Ford or did you buy them aftermarket?
No, I bought them aftermarket. So LEDs in halogen housings are kind of tricky, and I like things right, so I highly recommend headlightrevolution.com. They test hundreds of LEDs in specific housings to give you the best cutoff line and everything. Yep. These are, I can't remember the name exactly. I'll put them in the description though if you guys want.
Yeah, we'll put them in the description.
They were about $150 a set, so I did highs, lows, the turn signals, which through ForScan I have my orange turn signals all the time on as running lights, which I think looks really cool. And then these fog lights were another $200. So with the rear and the front, I got about $800 in LEDs, but I really think it gives the truck a lot more premium look for basically being an XL in all reality.
And can you tell the difference? I mean, are they brighter?
They're extremely brighter. Yeah. Headlight Revolution does actual legit tests, and they're roughly 300% brighter.
Okay, all right, let's talk about the wheels and the tires that you put on it, because obviously these aren't stock wheels, and you've got a little bit of a lift on it as well.
Right, so the lift is Bilstein struts. It's just the strut. It uses the factory coils. They're adjustable from 0 to 2.1 inches in height. I put them on the 1.26 setting because I still wanted some rake, because it is a truck and I intend to carry some load. But
do you lose a lot of the compression on the shock when you do that, or is it still? Is it still pretty? Pretty compliant.
It rides better than factory.
Okay.
Like before, I would hit bumps and I would actually have to let off the throttle because the back end would hop on me and the tires would skip if I didn't let off the throttle. With these Bilstein 5100s, I can hit that exact same bump and nothing happens. The back end stays planted.
And then you went with American Racing wheels, right?
American Racing wheels. I kept the offset where they weren't pushed too far out, because I've had plenty of Jeeps and you get sick of having dirt blasted all down your vehicle all the time. So they're tucked in there fairly well.
That's one of my pet peeves, when the tire sticks out beyond the body.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't even want to touch the door handle. It's so nasty in the winter.
The Raptor does that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you went with the Falcon Wild Peaks. Why'd you go with do you like them? Road noise?
I love the Wild Peaks. They're super quiet. They do excellent in the snow. There's tons of siping. I'd compare them most closely to Duratrax, but I actually like these more. They're cheaper. And then this is the tallest tire I could get before I went to an LT tire. I didn't want that 8 or 10 ply. It's about 10 pounds or more per tire heavier, and that's just all that extra rotating mass kills you. So,
Kept it light.
So yeah, I kept it light, and with the lift, the tires, I haven't went down at all in fuel mileage.
And I noticed you've got the little stubby antenna.
Yeah, just a cheap Amazon one. It just adds to it a little bit.
And let's talk about the configuration of the cab.
Yeah, so these are 35% ceramic tint windows.
Yep.
It's just me and my girl, so I didn't need the 4-door. I wanted the 6.5-foot bed to camp back there. I still have plenty of room to put my freezer back there, the dogs, and then if you do need to carry around a couple people for a short distance, it works out just fine. Got the WeatherTech floor mats in there.
I like the way that the barn door is open, so you get a lot more.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier to load stuff in there, and then I plan on getting Batwing awning, which is 270 degrees, so I have a rail system embedded into this topper from Lear, and it'll cover the whole side of the truck and go all the way around to the back 270 degrees. So once the doors open, you'll have a real nice living space.
Yeah, let's talk about the Lear top. I like how you matched the color, and they did that. Huh? How much was the Lear?
The Lear's not cheap. It was about $3,000. Is
that with the paint?
That's with the paint, and it's one of their higher end ones. You can see it's got the trimless windows, so it kind of makes it look like a SUV.
It looks factory.
It does look factory. And then these windows here, they pop out, and there's a screen in there, so when you're sleeping back there, you can still get some airflow and everything.
And you did make it sleep friendly. Let's look at the back of it.
So I got the bed rug in there right now.
Hey, and a shout out to all of you Bears fans. I don't know if you saw
that. Go Bears. Next year, as usual.
As usual.
I haven't permanently installed the bed rug yet, but because I plan on putting some solar, running some wires, batteries, all that stuff. But the bed rug's really nice, really comfortable. I already have a cot that can sit up here, and with the high top camper shell, I have plenty of room to even sit on the cot, and I can sit straight up. If you look, the camper shell, it raises it about 4 inches above the roof line of the truck. But yeah, there's plenty of room back here to camp.
In Japan, Travis, this would be like a 5-person condo.
Oh yeah. In New York, this thing would be like $3,000 a month probably.
So, do you plan to do overlanding with it, or are you going to use like a camping truck?
Yeah, more light overlanding. Like I'd say, more cross-country stuff. I mean, these guys build up these overland rigs that weigh a ton, and they're getting 8 miles a gallon. Well, you're on the street most of the time, at least I am, if I'm going to go somewhere. So I wanted something to be comfortable that I could sleep in stealth, in a parking lot or something if I needed to. And then it does have capability. It's got a rear locker. That was one of the things I was really looking for. I plan on skid plating the entire bottom. You can get a set of skid plates that will plate the entire bottom of the truck for about $600.
Have you had any problems with this how long have you owned it now? A month and a half?
Closer to 3 months.
3 months. Okay. Have you had any issues with it? Anything broken on it?
No issues at all.
Okay. And this is always my softball question. What's your favorite thing, and what's your least favorite thing about it? What's the one thing that you love, and what's the one thing you'd love to change?
I love the color.
Yeah, I love the color too.
I love the STX package, just the value you're getting for the money.
And what would you change?
What I'd change? I really don't know what I'd change. I mean, I do wish I had a full 4-door cab, but then with the 6.5-foot bed option, you're getting really long then, and it just becomes that much harder to be taking it off road and your breakover angles and everything like that.
Have you wheeled it yet?
Not really, no.
Is it going to hurt to wheel it?
I've had the new JK Rubicons, and I've beat them up pretty good, so no, that's what they're for. I won't mind.
Yeah, somebody just wrote us an email, and they said they're moving here to Colorado, and they want they're bringing a truck and they're wondering if it's good for wheeling. And I thought to myself, that's a good question. In some ways it's fine. Moab's perfect for trucks because there's no, it's open. But in Colorado, this is a big truck, and some of our trails are pretty tight.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I've wheeled plenty in Colorado. Colorado's Jeep country. I wouldn't say trucks is Colorado's forte. It's just the trails are too tight. The rocks are too big. And you're gonna get it beat up. I mean, if I took this truck on half the trails I Jeeped with, it would not come out looking very good. That's for sure. Even the Tacomas, I've wheeled with Tacomas, and you get them on off camber pitches and stuff, and like he had a topper on there, and it was getting crushed into a tree, and the turning radius isn't there versus the Jeeps. Yeah.
So last question before we wrap this up, with the topper and your fastidiousness when it comes to fuel economy, have you seen better or worse fuel economy with the topper? I would think it would clean up the airflow, right? You would think, but I'm not an aerodynamics engineer.
I've heard both cases made. I haven't noticed any difference at all.
So same
fuel economy. The topper weighs, I think, like 250 pounds maybe, and I haven't seen fuel economy go up or down.
So maybe it's a wash. Maybe you're adding weight, but you're also cleaning up airflow.
That's what I'd say.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining us for this episode of Dude, I Love or Hate My Ride. And Travis, I think it's fair to say you love your ride.
I love it.
All right, and let us know in the comments below what you think. And Travis, can you answer some comments if people have questions for you? Will you be in the comment section answering them?
Most definitely.
What's your YouTube?
I think it's THindy88.
Okay, THindy88. So if you see THindy88 in the comments, you know it's Travis. Guys, thanks for joining us. As always, check out tfltruck.com for more news, views, and of course, real owner reviews. See you guys next time. Ciao.